We finally have a story, first time in a while, that we can give some credit to President Obama. He is commuting the drug sentences of 8 people who were in jail for crack, cocaine. They all served at least 15 years in jail, so they've already been in there a while. Now, the reason why he's doing this, and this is important, there was a huge sentencing disparity between powder cocaine and crack cocaine. And it's a massive racial disparity too, because crack cocaine is more used predominantly by African Americans, powder cocaine much more expensive, used more by people on Wall Street and rich people, right? So there was a sentencing disparity where if you had crack, the same amount as would be the equivalent of with cocaine, the crack gets sentenced way longer. And there's mandatory minimums and all this bullshit surrounding it. So, of course, with the Obama administration and Eric Holder in the Justice Department pivoting slightly on drug policy and becoming slightly more progressive on it, which is a good thing, although they're not nearly as good as I'd like them to be, it's about time Obama took some sort of a stand and said, hey, wait a second. If these 8 guys were caught with powder cocaine, they'd already be done with their sentence a long time ago. And they've already been in there at least 15 years, so I'm going to go ahead and commute their sentences. They've already been in there over 15 years. They're done. They served their debt to society. This is nonsense. And also, I should say, this is very important, in 2010, they fixed that sentencing gap between crack cocaine and powder cocaine. So if these guys had been sentenced after 2010, they would have been in there much shorter time anyway. So if the law today applied back when these 8 guys were arrested, they would already be out. So this is why President Obama essentially released them, because they're ironclad cases where nobody could argue that they should still be in jail. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure the right-wingers will find some way to say, well, President Obama endorsing crack cocaine by doing this. I'm sure they will. But, you know, looking at the facts of the situation, it's clear to see it was a great move. Now, look, I know this is where I get all, you know, pie-in-the-sky liberal-like here, but man, how much would I love it if President Obama came out and gave a speech and said, here's the deal, guys. We have more people in U.S. prisons today than Stalin did in his gulag at their height, okay? We're locking up more nonviolent drug criminals than anywhere else in the world. This policy isn't working. It's a disaster. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pardon every single nonviolent drug offender. Every last one will be released today in an hour and a half. That's my, fantasy that goes on in my mind, because in a just world, that's what would happen, because none of those people should have ever been in jail in the first place. I mean, in reality, we should release them with sincere apologies and a monetary reward. But I won't expect them to go that far. But, I mean, it would be great. I don't even expect that to happen, but a boy can dream, can he?